everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make Nutella tarts. These are very popular in Singapore and I've been asking my sister to make this. So the reason why I make this video is mainly to show my sister who is positioned in Jakarta. So I hope she will make this one day over there and make it viral there. The recipe that I'm using today is from bakeomaniac.com. I will put it in the description below. I got to know this recipe from SCS Butter live sharing session on how to make these Nutella tarts. So I just couldn't wait to try it. It's a pretty last minute decision to do this, so I didn't have enough Nutella. Oh my gosh. I hope my children will not scold me after this because I'm gonna use all the Nutella that I have. And I hope that if they see this video, they will not be screaming, Mama, why are you using all the Nutella? Yep, because they usually eat Nutella bread for breakfast. I hope you are as excited as me to make these tarts. If you haven't already, follow me on Instagram, tien.sg. Tien means sweet, and you deserve all the sweetness in your life. Let's go, let's prepare the ingredients. Those ingredients are simple: unsalted butter with sugar, vanilla essence, salt, egg yolk, and the all-purpose flour and some milk powder. Let's start by creaming the butter and sugar. The best thing about this recipe is that if you do not have a mixer, you can mix this by hand, but I personally prefer to use the mixer to do this because then we can actually cream it properly because I don't have much hand strength, to be honest. The recipe that we follow asks for creaming for 2 minutes, and I was about to change to whisk, but I remembered I didn't actually whisk my dry ingredients yet. So this is the purpose flour with milk powder that has been sifted, and we have to mix them together. And so after that, I reuse this whisk to whisk the butter and sugar again so that they will be creamy and fluffy, and it's supposed to be turning a little bit whitish in color, not that yellowish anymore. Like I said, I actually prefer to use the mixer for this. I'm not used to mixing or creaming butter and sugar by hand. You can see that the butter and sugar is starting to change color. It looks a little bit creamier now and it's whitish in color. So I'm just gonna continue mixing it based on my feel. But it takes probably about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. But the next time I will definitely use the mixer to try. Now it's time to add the other ingredients. So first I added the salt, the egg yolk, and I'm keeping the egg white for something else. Please subscribe and you'll know. And vanilla essence. And of course, mix this well together first before we add the dry ingredients. Now let's put the dry ingredients, the all-purpose flour with the milk powder that I've sifted earlier on, and I've also mixed them together. And we'll use a spatula for this because it's just a folding technique that we have to do, so we can't use the whisk for this. So we'll fold until they can come together. They can all come together. Make sure you check the bottom of the bowl, the sides are clean, free from flour. Slowly but surely you will see that they all come together and it will form into a nice dough and clump together. So be patient with this, and if you want, you can also use your hands to do this. It will be easier to knead them rather than using a spatula. But if you know me, I prefer to use spatula than my hands. I actually do not like the idea of dirtying my hands. I will only use my hands when I have really no choice. But in this case, of course, obviously, I have a choice. Or you can also use your hands and probably gloves and try to mix this together. It might be easier. As you can see, I took some time to do this, but the sign to show that it's almost ready is when your bowl is clean and everything is coming together like a ball. And this is when actually you can stop, just giving it a little bit more kneading, and I'm almost done. Next step is to refrigerate a batter for about 25 minutes. And I'm preparing the cling wrap now to put this dough into the fridge, as you can see. Why are we chilling the dough? It is a very important step, so please don't skip it. It's because it's easier to work on a cold dough later. This is all butter, and if we want to mold this, it will be so much easier. Five minutes later, you can see my dough is out from the fridge, and I've prepared the mold that I need. In Singapore, we can easily get this mold for about $1 plus at the nearest supermarket. And usually we also make pineapple tarts using this same mold for Chinese New Year. So I'm not sure about your location. Probably you can get other molds if you do not have this mold. After chilling the dough, it will be hard, but it will be easier to mold when it's hard like this. So first we have to flour our surface, not too much. And if you do not have a rolling pin, you can just take some of the dough and flatten it using your finger. We want a thickness for about 0.5 centimeters, not too high, because it will be out of shape using this mold. So I'm going to teach you how to use this mold. So first you need to press it down, and you have to remember to press the center, and then you twist it, and then you lift it up. So that's when you see the shape. And of course you have to push the center and slowly and gently remove the tart from the mold. And this is how it looks like. Now gather again the remaining dough and mix it with the other dough. You can take a greater amount. For me, it's because I was recording for this video and I need to position everything into this little frame. But if you can use all of them or half of them at one shot, then it will save time. Now if you have a rolling pin, I usually would like to have another layer of baking paper on top of it and use the rolling pin to roll it this way. It's because it's really buttery, and sometimes this tarts dough can stick onto your rolling pin, and that's gonna be a very messy affair. So yeah, this is how I do it. And when you lift it up, you can see that it will be clean. Your rolling pin will be clean as well. To be honest, it takes a lot of time and effort to practice how to roll evenly. So when you are able to roll evenly, it will turn out okay. Just like I mentioned just now, you must remember to press the center. If you don't, then I'll just want to show you one that I didn't press the center. You can see that there is no indentation at the center, so you have to remember to actually press the center properly. And if the dough is too thin, then the center part will actually crack this way, as you can see from here. So no problem at all, you can just set them aside and redo them again later. So just remember not to roll the dough too thinly. is about 0.5 centimeters will be the best. So as you can see, with more practice and more time, I was able to do it really quickly for the next few rounds. We can always gather the dough again and add a new batch on, but always remember to flour the surface and also flour the mold a little so that it won't stick to the mold. And all you have to do is to repeat the process again. After doing some time, you may realize that some of the dough sticks to your mold, so I get a toothpick to sometimes clean it up so that I'll get the nice flower shape. The recipe that I used indicated that we can get about 30 Nutella tarts, but I get 48 Nutella tarts. I love how this all turns out, and it's time to bake in the oven. So preheat your oven for 160 degrees Celsius and bake for about 12 to 13 minutes. We need to bake this twice. So firstly, after we let it cool for 30 minutes, now we have to do the piping of the Nutella. So I use this Tart tip, and I have this huge one, and of course I will need the piping bag. I use a large piping bag for this, and the Nutella, and I'm gonna use whatever Nutella that I have. The recipe asks for 300 grams. So let's prepare the piping bag. First, we put the piping tip inside the piping bag, and we use a tall glass to help us to in this way to help us pour the Nutella easier. And so I use a spatula as well so that it will be easier to scrape. I do not have much Nutella left, and I know that the recipe calls for 300 grams, so let's see how much I can have from this jar of Nutella. And my kids will be complaining that we won't have Nutella for breakfast anymore for tomorrow. And yeah, let's see. And I don't think I need 300 grams actually. It will be too much. I tried digging out as much Nutella as I can, but I think I'm gonna just stop at 200. If I can achieve 200, that will be good enough. So yeah, that's about it, and we'll start to pipe it. As you can see, the piping bag is now half filled with Nutella, so we have to push the Nutella down, and at the same time we have to cut away the tip of the piping bag. After cutting away the tip of the piping bag, it's time to pipe. So this is the fun part of this Nutella tart, and I was thinking where to start piping, and I thought it would be easier for you guys to see if I start piping from the center of the tray, but I know that some of you may not like it, so I wanted to go to the corner, yet I go back down to the center and give it a try. Now I find that this Nutella, it's not that easy to pipe out as I imagine it to be. It's a little bit too soft, and it's not taking its shape or cannot be pulled out that easily. So but I tried, and I think probably the next time round I need to make sure that my Nutella is cold to start with. So this is how I do my piping. So if some of you who may have a problem on how I go about doing my piping from left to right, I'm actually not doing in order, and I know that some of you will go crazy seeing this, but yeah, this is just the way I do it. I'm not sure why I did it that way. Probably I was panicking because the Nutella was not as easily piped, or it's not as easy to handle as I imagine it to be. So this is how I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna just continue until I'm done with the whole tray of Nutella tarts. done with all the piping, and I'm going to bake it in the oven again for 12 minutes, and this time the temperature is about 140 degrees Celsius. So here you go, I'm done, and it's really buttery and melty, I must say. But the next round I will do more research on how I can have a better texture for the Nutella to be piped. I'm guessing that the Nutella has to be cold to start with. So keep watching and subscribe and like my video, and you'll see more updates from me. Thank you.